Hi, welcome to my channel. Today's video, belief and faith. Do you need belief and faith in your manifestation? No, absolutely not. Why don't you need that? Because you will hear a lot online about you must expect it. You must know that you've created it and it's going to come, and you must really, really feel that in order for it to show up in your life. Now that just seems like pretty impossible, doesn't it? And actually it isn't true, because what I believe is this is all about energy. We are all energy. The universe is an energetic universe. You are energy, I'm energy, the table's energy, the chair over there is energy. Absolutely everything is vibrating, so absolutely everything has a frequency. And when you go internal and you think about that thing that you want, you have a frequency. So a signal is going out there, and that is what is coming back to you, and it's pretty much as simple as that. I know on one hand it isn't simple, because our feelings are our feelings, and you know, sometimes they're all over the place, aren't they? But the theory behind it is pretty simple. What you put out, you get back. So why would you need belief? You don't need belief. If you have utter belief and utter faith, it's not going to do you any harm. It's going to be a good thing. Of course it is. It's going to be, because it's going to aid that vibration of just knowing that that thing is on the way. So of course it's a good thing if you've got that. It's never a negative. But if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. So if you don't have it, just bring it back to it being about energy. This is purely energetic. It's purely about the frequency I'm putting out there. What have I got going on internally? Okay, that's going to create my frequency. So that's what's going to come back. But faith and belief is something a bit more mystical, isn't it? If you're religious, for example, and you believe in God, maybe you would feel that you need faith or belief. But again, to me, whatever you think it is, it's working the same way, whatever you think it is. And I never have faith. I never have complete faith and belief. Sometimes I think, oh, that's logical that might happen even, which does help. But I've manifested some really huge things that shouldn't have, on the face of it, were not really, I'd say they were very unlikely, extremely unlikely. So if you'd have given it a percentage, you would have gone, there's like a 2% chance that this might happen. And it happened anyway. And it happened even taking into consideration on one particular thing, which was the whole lifestyle change and whole career working environment change. I couldn't see how it would come. I just couldn't see how it was possible. And I couldn't even see the way that whatever this is could make this happen, because even in a sort of thinking about all of the possibilities, so I just gave up thinking about any of the possibilities, because sometimes I do bring lots of things in, think, oh, it could happen like this, it could happen like that, because it helps me. But it didn't help me on this occasion. It didn't help me at all. I couldn't see how it could happen. I fully doubted it, fully. And that was the thing that started to unfold a couple of weeks later. A month later, it's completely done. And I would go into it, but it's just take me too long to explain it. And actually, I have spoken about it on several different videos, so I don't want to bore you guys that have already heard the story. It's all about my working environment change, going from lots of staff or a few staff to no staff, but exactly what I wanted to happen without having to make any redundancies. And it was a big, huge thing for me, huge thing for us as a company. And really speaking, rationally, logically, there was, like I said, about 2% chance that would have happened if you're looking at life as being as we've been taught it to be. So I had no faith, I had no belief at all. I had the opposite of faith and belief. And I speak to a lot of people that have the opposite of that as well, which people that manifest things that they have gone, this is just never going to happen. So absolutely have the opposite of faith and belief, and it still happens, because it's science, because it's what is going on here. The universe, let's call it the universe for purposes of this video, is responding to your vibration. Now, so you could really constantly think to yourself, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. Now that is something a bit different, because you're constantly living in the vibration and the frequency of this is never going to happen. So that's a completely different thing. But if you're just now and again thinking, I can't see how this can happen, I just have no real belief that this is going to happen, but you're not constantly feeling it, then you're not constantly in that vibration. You're just sometimes in that vibration. But it's more of a doubt. Turn it into, if you're feeling, this will never happen, I cannot, I'm really feeling negative about that, just turn it into, I can't see how this can happen, because that's, again, a different vibration. I can't see how this can happen. That's right. You can't see how this can happen. Well, that's irrelevant, whether you can see how it can happen or not. So that's a slightly different frequency, and you'll just be a little bit gentler, a little bit softer with yourself in that respect. But again, it doesn't matter. Fear and doubt really, really doesn't matter, as long as it's not dominant to a point where you're constantly living in that. If you're not constantly living in it, it doesn't matter. It's like anything. If you're not constantly living in it, it really doesn't matter. It's a case of balance, getting a bit of balance. So you're just getting on with your life. Maybe sometimes you doubt it. Maybe sometimes you fear it will never happen. Doesn't matter. That's the key thing to take away from this. It really doesn't matter, because whatever I want to change about my life, some things now are really easy. And I think, there's no reason that won't happen yet, and I can get way on board with it. But some things, again, I won't. And your mind, so your rational mind, is there to protect you, and is there to kind of say, don't be deluded, don't be an idiot, to stop you from going down a route that it thinks is illogical, is irrational. That's what it's there for. That's its job. So allow it to do what it does, but don't give it any momentum. So don't give it too much attention. Just go, yeah, this is what the rational mind does. That's fine. This is about the subconscious. It's not about the rational mind. This is about my feelings. This is about frequency. It's not about anything else. It's not about trust. It's not about faith. It's not about belief. Sometimes when we have expectation with this, it's actually not a positive thing, because it can turn into a negative expectation, because it leads us to keep living in the now, if you know what I mean, in a more negative way. Living in the now as in, I can't change this, why is it still as it is? So actually expectation, it doesn't turn out to be a positive thing. There's different kinds, isn't there, of ways of describing expectation, but expectation with this I don't think is particularly, I don't see it as a positive for myself. I don't want any expectation. I'd rather think might never happen, because it really helps me just feel a bit softer about it. It softens that sort of vibration of the stuff that you might have, like, I can't see how this is going to happen. It just doesn't make it quite so big. But really, again, just take away from having a need to believe it or have faith in it, because that just, if you see this like I do as vibration and frequency, why would you? It doesn't make any sense. You don't have to believe it. The thing is, again, it's the dominant vibration that you have. So if, like I said, if you're living in it constantly, that's a whole different thing. But if you're not, it doesn't matter. It's just allow yourself that doubt, allow yourself that disbelief. Just allow it, because when you allow it, it just feels slightly different anyway. You're just being a bit gentler about it and just taking it back to, I don't get this. I cannot see how this could possibly happen. Honestly, if I feel like doing a video one day, if I have to speak to all the various different people, the things that some of people that I speak to have manifested that were so against rationality, if that's the right word, but really, and it's quite incredible some of the things that people manage to bring into their lives, with the doubt, with the fear that it will never happen, with the oh my god, then it happens, like, oh my god, how the hell did this happen? Again, just to summarize, if you have it, then that's brilliant, that's absolutely awesome. It will probably supercharge things. If you have a total faith that something is going to come, of course it's a positive, but it isn't necessary. The main thing to sort of supercharge things and speed things up, really, you don't want to look at time too much, because then I'm going to do a video about time as well, making time your friend. But really speaking, as long as you know that it doesn't matter, that it's just about frequency, that can be really, really useful to bring it back to, okay, yeah, it is purely about frequency. What frequency do I think I have on the subject? Okay, is the fear and doubt taking over? Am I letting it become out of control? Am I living in it most of the time? Oh, if I am, okay, well, as long as I'm not doing that, I can have a bit of it. That's fine. How can I distract myself? I think just by knowing that actually it isn't important, and knowing that I just don't think there's ever been one time where I've had a strong faith and belief that anything's going to happen. I don't like to work with it in that way. I just think, okay, it's frequency. What's my frequency doing? Okay, well, if it's doing this, if I think that I'm vibrating a certain way, if I have a certain energy, then it's highly likely that this is going to show up in my life. But never put that pressure on myself that it definitely will. It has to. I don't ever do that, because I just don't think that it's useful. And that's that. I hope that this was useful. It's just, again, I try and make these videos based around questions that people ask me, clients ask me. And then, so I'm thinking, well, if a lot of people are asking that question, then it's probably going to be useful to a lot of people. So hopefully this was useful. Just take it back to it all being about what's going on inside is what's going to show up on the outside, because it has to, because it's linked. It's all part of the bigger picture. It's all part of the same system. So what's going on inside is going to show outside, and it's as simple as that. And if you're not constantly living in fear and doubt, then it doesn't matter. Just a bit of it doesn't matter at all. But just try and turn it around to, oh God, I cannot see how this is going to happen. I wonder how on earth this is going to happen. That will just really help you. But again, it doesn't matter, but anything that aids you to feel slightly differently, if it's bothering that you really don't have any fear and that you have a lot of fear and doubt, if that's bothering you, then just turn it to that as a bit of a wonder. How on earth is this going to happen? Oh my God, I cannot imagine how this is going to happen. But do know, if this helps you, the amount of people that I speak to and the crazy stuff that people manifest, with fear and with doubt. So there you go. It just, and me as an example, it doesn't matter. Right, okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd love for you to do that.